left Pittston under those circumstances, you eventually paid a settlement of $19,000. The dispute was over overtime, or the dispute was over the number of days.
No, it was, again, it was, I'll try.
Well, I don't want you to have to rehash it.
No, I understand.
I want to know, would you do it differently?
What I didn't do it, no. I'll tell you what, Joe Keating, the mayor who just retired, he came into my office and he said to me, he said, Will, why don't you just take a month's overtime and throw all that away, 13 years worth of overtime and sick days, throw them away, forget about them. I said, Joe, I worked for Frank Harrison for a few months doing part-time, and I was his liaison with private industry working with the Department of Labor. I said, if the Department of Labor comes into City Hall 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and they audit this, they're going to say, you didn't pay this man all that overtime. You have to pay it to him. You owe it to him. There were no timesheets when I went to City Hall. There were no timesheets whatsoever. Each department took care of their own. The employees would tell you how much time they had. There was not a whole lot of record keeping taking place. I created the timesheets, and I created one for myself because I was entitled to overtime based on a ruling they asked me to get from the Department of Labor. Their ruling for management was very simple. Can he hire and fire? No, I could not hire and fire. That was the council made that decision. They said, then he's not a real manager, he's just a supervisor for you, in their terms. So I had my own timesheets, and they were up to date. And because I worked so many hours, what I would do was convert overtime to sick time. And the reason I would do that is because overtime, if it had to be paid, was roughly $150 a day. Sick time was worth $10 a day. And I'm telling you, as God is my witness, it had, one of the council people said, Will, you work so many hours, how are we ever going to pay you for it? I said, you're not going to. Forget about it. I'm never going to give you a bill for overtime. If I leave here, if I die, if I sit down on my desk and have a stroke, you're going to pay me. And that's what this is all about. But if I leave here, I'll cash it in as sick time, $10. It's not going to be $150 a day. And that's really what happened. And that's what they said I didn't have the right to do. They said I didn't have the right to do that. I said, this is absolutely absurd. But that's what it boiled down to. And that's when it got to Conahan's desk. He said, why is this in front of me? He put that together, by the way. I'm sorry, I got off your, that 19 grand, I didn't do this. This is what they put together. They said to me, would you be happy with a pension of this amount of money? I said, yes. I said, that is the exact figure that, I can't remember the attorney's name from Rosen, Jenkins, and Greenwald, I think he was with. He told them what would happen if they went to court. This is what's going to be awarded to them. He said, are you happy with that, Will? I said, yeah. I just want to get out of here. I got to get my head on straight. So Conahan says, in order to get to this figure, you got to pay back this much money. I didn't actually pay back $19,000. I have a receipt for, I think, $4,800 because they gave me credit for everything they could possibly give me credit for and say it's part of the $19,000. So my actual out-of-pocket payback was $4,800, and that because your pension was based on your last salary. So we had to reduce my salary by 19 grand to get to where my pension number that we agreed upon was.